Hello, my fellow explorers. It is a rainy day in Seoul, South Korea, and I am going to tell you how I got here as a tourist. I am an American and I'm staying here for 90 days. Chances are, if you're coming to Korea as a tourist, you're going to need a K-ETA. Over 100 nationalities are required to apply for the K-ETA if they're flying to Korea. So let's get into it. First things first, you have to book your accommodation because you're going to need a Korean address and a Korean phone number in order to apply for your K-ETA. This is how you can know whether or not you need a K-ETA. You can just search for your country and it'll tell you if you need a K-ETA and how long you're allowed to stay in Korea. So you've determined that you need a K-ETA. So you've already booked your accommodation. That way you have your address and your phone number. Now you're actually going to go to the K-ETA website and apply for your K-ETA. You need to do this at least 72 hours in advance because it can take a few days to process. This is what the K-ETA website looks like. I'll put that link in the description below. You're going to apply for your K-ETA. Yay! Okay. You've got to select your continent and your nationality. Just agree. You can read through. I already read through it, so I'm just agreeing. This part's really simple. Just put in your passport number and your email address and then click next. Next, you'll have to enter your passport information and upload a picture of the bio page. If the file size of your image is too big, it won't upload. There are a lot of image compressing websites online that you can find with a quick Google search. I've always just used Fast Scanner Pro because it's an app I've had for a long time. I take a picture and then I email it to myself. The app asks the file size I want, so I can choose exactly how big or small I want the file to be. If your picture was successfully uploaded, you'll see the name of the file and the size of the file. So you can just go ahead and make sure everything looks correct and then click next. On the next page, you'll answer some required questions, then you'll put in the address of the place you're staying. I found it easiest to click on Find Postal Code, then I typed the zip code in of my Airbnb, and I scrolled through a couple pages until I found it. There's an extra text box underneath the address box. If your address doesn't have any additional details, just write none. Now you need to put in your Korean phone number. This will be the phone number of your hotel or your Airbnb. If you're staying in an Airbnb, you'll find this in your booking information if you click on Call Host. Don't worry, it won't actually call unless you click on the phone number that pops up. The most important part, I think, of the K-ETA is the picture that you have to take. So I'm going to go ahead and put my photo up, the one that I used. This is just a photo that I took a picture of on my iPhone. It's not a professional photo at all. I made sure, I wasn't wearing any jewelry. I had a neutral expression on my face. You don't want to see any teeth. You don't want to smile. You just want a very neutral expression on your face. I even made sure to tuck my hair behind my ears. I wasn't sure if it was important to show your ears, but it looked like in the example photos that everyone's ears were showing, so I made sure to do that as well. I didn't have a plain white background, which I was nervous about. But there's an off-white background here, and that worked out fine. This photo has to be less than 100 kilobytes and in a JPEG format. I used the same app, Fast Scanner, to do this, but you can also just follow whatever process you followed for the passport photo. If you don't think you can do this all in one sitting, you can save temporarily and just come back to this later, or you can go ahead and move on and click next. Check your information to make sure everything looks accurate. At this point, you can add members if you have additional people traveling with you, or you can click on Make Payment. If you're ready to go, click Confirm, and then the payment screen will show up. You'll put in your credit card info there. It costs 10,300 won, which is about $7.50 in US dollars. If you have additional members, those fees will also be added on to this total amount. Once you've completed the application and made your payment, you'll get an application confirmation screen that looks like this. You're so close to being in this beautiful country called Korea. You just need to wait on that email that says that your K-ETA has been approved. The K-ETA will most likely be around for a long time, so I hope this video will be helpful to many people in the future. Now, if you're traveling in 2022, I'm going to give you some additional info. I just want to say a few last things about traveling to Korea. So as of September 2022, you no longer need a negative COVID test in order to enter Korea. but you will still need one when you land. So you should schedule that at the airport. If you go to the Incheon Airport website, you can find how to schedule your COVID test at the airport. Just make sure you know if you're going to land in Terminal 1 or Terminal 2 and go ahead and make an appointment. I made my appointment for my COVID test when I was at the Dallas airport. I wanted to make sure my flight wasn't delayed. I scheduled my COVID test for an hour and 15 minutes after we were meant to land, and that ended up being absolutely perfect. There are 2 centers in each terminal, east and west. It does not matter actually which one you schedule at. They are both literally right next door to each other. So I just scheduled at one. The only thing you really need to know is once you go through immigration and get your baggage and you're able to exit, that is where the COVID testing center is. You have to actually exit the terminal and cross the crosswalk, and right across the street is where you'll see the testing centers. So you'll just walk to the east one or the west one, depending on where you scheduled, and you'll go to the arrivals. One other optional thing you can do is to go ahead and register all of your itinerary beforehand on the Q-Code website. It's optional, but it makes everything go a lot faster once you land. There are 2 lines once you get off the airplane. You can go to the Q-Code line where you already have your Q-Code, which is a QR code that you're given, or you can go to the line where you have to fill out a bunch of paperwork. I will link that Q-Code website down below. You'll go through the Q-Code line and you'll just scan your Q-Code. I would recommend taking a screenshot of it just in case you can't pull up the email. I just scanned mine and then I scanned my daughter's, and I was able to go straight to the immigration line after I scanned my Q-Code. Once you get your negative PCR result, you will actually upload that into the same website. That is it for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you found this helpful, and I look forward to sharing more of this awesome country with you in the future. Bye! Annyeong!